The 10 tallest trees in the world. Trees provide oxygen to the world and give soil consistency, and larger ones tend to be ecosystems in themselves that serve as a refuge for many animal species. Here we present to you those that have lived the longest. Number 10. Tasmanian oak. Also known as an Australian oak. The tallest specimen of this tree is called King Stringy, and it is, what a coincidence, in Tasmania. Its trunk has a diameter of 13 feet and measures 282 feet high, almost 20 meters higher than the Cathedral of Notre Dame. Australian oaks grow naturally in the cold areas of southeastern Australia and the island of Tasmania at an altitude of between 0 and 1,475 meters above sea level. It's characterized by having a lignotuber, a bulge in the base of the trunk or underneath the surface that stores nutrients that allow it, in the case of a fire or cut, for the stem to grow again. Number 9. Australian alpine ash. It has a straight and gray trunk tree whose highest measured specimen has a trunk diameter of 10 feet and is 288 feet tall, which makes it as tall as the Capitol in Washington, D.C. The Australian alpine ash extends through southern Australia, in the states of Victoria, New South Wales, and Tasmania, between 2,788 feet and 4,921 feet above sea level. Unlike the Tasmanian oak, the alpine ash has a tough trunk to crack and is prepared to face tougher weather conditions. It usually grows on cold, rocky, and steep soils, with abundant rains and with snow or frost during the winter. Its growth is quite slow, and it takes 20 years to reach sexual maturity. Number 8. Tasmanian blue gum. Also known as blue eucalyptus or white eucalyptus. This tree is native to Southeast Australia. It's known for its characteristic aroma because its trunk is flaked into small strips. It can measure up to 298 feet in height, which is the height of the tallest specimen found on the island of Tasmania, and is as long as a professional soccer field. It grows quite fast, and although it develops more easily in cool and humid areas, it can adapt to all kinds of climates, which is why it is spread to several parts of the world. It is used for papermaking and oil extraction, and also has medicinal uses. In many countries, it was cultivated because it absorbs moisture from the environment. However, it's also a species that desertifies the ecosystem when it is planted. In the mid-19th century, eucalyptus was introduced in the western United States in part because the railroad companies needed timber for road construction. At present, it is spread throughout California and is considered an ecological hazard due to its rapid reproduction through seeds that can affect the development of local species, many of which also have a place in this top. In addition, its bark is highly flammable, so it causes forest fires with ease. Number 7. MANNA gum. The highest specimen of this tree lives in the Evercreech Reserve in Tasmania and measures 299 feet in height. This size is the equivalent of putting 15 giraffes on the head of one another. The diameter of the trunk can reach up to 11.4 feet. This species of eucalyptus is known to have sweet fruits that grow in clusters of 3 and that were highly appreciated by the Australian natives. Its leaves have lots of sugar in them, so they are koalas' favorite food. Number 6. Yellow Meranti. It is the highest tropical tree in the world. It can reach up to 309 feet tall, that is, it can be as tall as the Statue of Liberty, including the pedestal. You find it in the jungles of Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia. Its wood is widely used to make houses, boats, and all kinds of furniture. This has led to the intensification of logging and the reduction of its habitat to 50% in its last 3 generations. Another cause of its decline is the expansion of harvesting fields. Number 5. Giant sequoia. This tree can grow up to 314 feet in height, that is, twice the height of the Roman Coliseum. The best-known giant sequoia is General Sherman, which is in the Sequoia National Park and is the most voluminous living in the world with a trunk of 52,513 cubic feet, although it is only 274 feet tall. The bark of the giant sequoia can be up to 60 centimeters thick at the base of the tree. Reaching all that thickness takes time and patience. The oldest tree of this species is 3,500 years old. Sequoias reproduce through the cones, its sexual organs that end up holding up to 230 seeds, which are called conifers. Forest animals help the reproduction. Beetles put their larvae in the cones, and they eat the scales, causing the seeds to slide outwards. Something similar happens with squirrels, who tend to gnaw on fresh cones. However, there's nothing like fire to open them. Forest fires do not do much to the giant sequoias since their trunk is not flammable. On the contrary, they favor them. The heat waves make the cones open strongly as if they were popcorn. Expelled seeds require direct sunlight, and if they fall in a shady place, they will not germinate. The fire helps remove the vegetation that hinders them, and the ashes serve as fertilizer. However, today, forest fires are controlled by humans, which prevents sequoias from finding places to implant themselves, and consequently, their natural habitat is reduced. Now they're in danger of extinction. Number 4. Sitka spruce. It is the third largest conifer in the world. Its name comes from the town of Sitka in Alaska. Its habitat is the cold and humid climates that geographically extend from the Kodak Islands to Northern California in the United States. It never strays more than 80 kilometers from the coast. The largest trees live in the Pacific Rim National Park Reserve and the Karmana-Walbran Provincial Park, where the highest example of Sitka, measuring 317 feet tall, is located, which is equivalent to the size of London's Big Ben. The thickness of its trunk can reach up to 16 feet in width. The cones are elongated, measuring between 0.7 to 4 inches in length and 0.7 inches in thickness. Initially, they are reddish or green, but when they are pollinated and have seeds, they taint brown. Spruce grow rapidly, at a speed of up to 5 feet per year, and can reach 700 years of age. Because of its adaptability to poor soils, it was implanted in Europe and New Zealand. Its wood is quite homogeneous. Unlike other trees, it has no knots, which is why it is a good sound conductor and is used in the manufacture of guitar and violins. In addition, it is an input in the manufacture of airplanes. The Wright brothers plane used Sitka spruce wood. Number 3. Douglas fir. It is the third largest tree in the world. Its maximum height is 327 feet tall, which is equivalent to a building of more than 33 floors. The Douglas fir lives in a strip that goes from British Columbia to California and from sea level to 5,905 feet in altitude. It usually lives more than 500 years. In good condition, it can even get to live 1,000 years. After 100 years, its bark becomes so thick that it can stand the fire of forest fires. In fact, similar to the giant sequoia, it needs fire for its reproduction. A young Douglas fir requires 20 to 30 years to produce seeds. These are stored in cones that measure between 2 and 3 inches in length and 0.7 to 1 inch in width. In each cone there are between 25 or 30 seeds. It is an important piece for the ecosystem of the Pacific forests. It serves as a refuge for the spotted owl and the red tree vole. Porcupines tend to feed on their lower bark, and squirrels store their cones to feed on them when needed. Number 2. Swamp gum. This tree inhabits naturally in the southeast of Australia, in zones around 3,280 feet above sea level with frequent rains. It is the highest flowering plant in the world. The largest specimen is called Centurion. It lives in South Tasmania, measures 327.5 feet in height, and its trunk has a diameter of 13 feet and 11,583 feet cubic in volume. However, in 1881, a 374 feet tall Eucalyptus regnans was felled. This species has a straight and grayish trunk and a smooth bark, except in the first 15 meters where it's rough. At certain times of life, it reaches a growth rate of up to 3 feet per year, but does not maintain this rhythm constantly. It is an old tree, and specimens with 400 years of age have been found. Given the time it has, it starts seeding 20 years after it was sprouted from the ground. It is home to several species such as the opossum, which can dig holes in the trunk, the yellow-tailed black cockatoo, and the wedge-tailed eagle, which makes nests in the canopies. Number 1. Coast redwood. It has a very large tree, which can exceed 350 feet in height. The highest recorded tree, the Hyperion, is 389 feet, which makes it the largest tree in the world, almost as tall as Yoshiko Daibutsu, the third largest statue in the world. Some researchers say that it was going to be higher, but the damage caused by the woodpeckers in its crown prevented its growth. It is found in Redwood National Park. It's estimated to be between 600 and 800 years old and 18,600 cubic feet of wood. Redwood is a species of giants. Helios is 374 feet tall, and Icarus 370 feet tall. These are the second and third largest trees in the world respectively. The tree known as Jupiter is the third, with the thickest trunk at 29.2 feet in diameter. The redwood habitat is a strip that goes from Oregon to California. It usually grows from 98 to 2,296 feet above sea level. When it exceeds this height, trees are usually small due to lack of moisture. On the other hand, the largest and longest redwood trees live in the deep valleys with a lot of fog due to marine evaporation. Its roots are quite strange. From one single root, several tree trunks can arise. If one is felled, the roots feed it until it recovers. Its branches serve as home for the spotted owl. These were the biggest trees. If you were interested in this video, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a single one. Until next time.